All right, today we're doing the Unit 11 practice test for tomorrow's test. First question says, fill in the blank with one of the following names of geometric solids. Have exactly two bases and no vertices. I am a what? Well, the first one is a pyramid. A pyramid kind of looks like this. A cone looks like this. Rectangular prism looks like this. And a cylinder looks like the following. So, first problem says, I have exactly two bases and no vertices. I am a what? Well, this one has vertices. The pyramid has vertices. This one has a vertice, or an apex. This one right here has several vertices. So the cylinder is the only one without a vertice. So I have two bases. We have a base here and a base on the bottom. So this one is a cylinder. B, all my faces are triangular. I am a, that one's easy, a pyramid. I have one base and one curved surface. That looks like your cone. I have a pair of bases and exactly 8 vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8 vertices. How many bases? I have a pair of bases. I have a top one and a bottom one. Another pair there. I am a rectangular prism. Excellent. Next problem. Which of the following bases has a greater volume? Let's take a look at the first one here, A. The area of my base, if this is 7, then this has to be 7, and this has to be a 7. So 14 times 7 would be my base. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 2 is 9. 98 is my base. To find the volume, I have to go base times height. Let's do 98. 8 is my height times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 9 is 72. Plus 6, 78. So my answer is 784 is my volume. Let's move on over here. If a 10 goes here, I have a 10 here. So my base is 26 times 10, which is pretty easy, multiplying by 10. So I have 260. My height is 17, so 260 times 17. 7 times 0 is 0. 6 times 7 is 42. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 4 is 18. Place value, holder, 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. Add them up. 0, 2, 14, 4. 4,420. Which of the boxes below has a greater volume? Explain how you found out. Well, I found out by proving what the volumes are. So obviously B has the greater volume. Next problem. The rectangular prism below has a volume of 420 cubic centimeters. What is the height? Well, what is 140 times what? Because 140 is my base. So if I know my base, I just have to multiply it by the height to equal 420. My area of the base is 140, so 140 times what number equals 420? I'm going to go ahead and try 140 times 3. 140 times 3. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Your answer is 3, but you have to label it correctly, so it'd be 3 centimeters. Next problem. In your practice, I told you to change this 2 to a 3. The radius is 3. The diameter is 6, because the diameter is this whole distance, which would be 3 plus 3. The circumference. When finding circumference, I have to look at this formula here. This little pi symbol equals 3.14. I have to multiply it by my diameter, which is 6. 4 times 6 is 24. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. 6 times 3 is 18. Move the decimals, move the decimals. My answer is 18 and 84 hundredths. label it with a centimeter. What is the area of the base of the cylinder? What is the area of the cylinder? When finding area, I have to go radius squared times 3.14. They're just looking for the base here, so we don't even have to do anything with this 21. So the top of this shape is also the same as the base. So my radius is actually a 5. So all I have to do is 5 squared times 3.14, which would be 25 times 3.14. 3.14 times 25. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. 5 times 3 is 15. Let's go ahead and erase this 3 here. Place value holder. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. And add these up. 0, 15, 8, 7. Move the decimals. Move the decimals. The area of the base is 78 and 5 tenths. 50 hundredths. Centimeters squared with this area. Next problem. What is the volume of the cylinder? Well, in order to find volume, I have to find the area of the base first, which would be radius squared times 3.14, because we're dealing with a circle. The radius is 2. 2 squared times 3.14. 2 times 2 is 4 times 3.14. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it over here. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 4 times 3 is 12. Move the decimals, move the decimals. So the area of my base is 12 and 56 hundredths. Now, since I know the area of the base, to multiply it by the height now. 12.56 times my height, which is 7. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 4 is 39. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 3, 17. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. Move the decimals, move the decimals. 87.92, or 87 and 92 hundredths centimeters. What should I label it? Looks like I'm finding volume. It's a 3-dimensional shape, cubed. The prism below is made up of centimeter cubes. A, what is the area of the base? Well, it looks like I have 1, 2, 3 here, 2 here, 4 high. So the area of my base is 3 times 2, which equals 6. Dealing with area, centimeters squared. What is the height? My height is 4 centimeters. What is the volume? Well, area of the base would be 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 4 is 24 centimeters. Volume means cubed. What is the surface area of the prism? Well, this prism has 6 faces. Remember how I taught you guys how to do this so we don't make any mistakes? Let's just do the front face first. We have 4 times 3, which equals 12. Front face is the same as the back face, which is 4 times 3 equals 12. I'm going to change colors here now. Let's do this side face here, which should be 2 times 4. So we have 2 times 4 equals 8. This would be on the same one on this side now, which would be 2 times 4 equals 8. Now we have to do the bottom and the top, which is 3 times 2. Change colors for you right here. 3 times 2 equals 6. 3 times 2 equals 6. Now I have to add all these up. I'm going to use a different color. 12 plus 12 is 24. 8 plus 8 is 16. 6 plus 6 is 12. Go ahead and add up these now. 4 plus 6 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 52, it's area, so centimeters squared. If you kept the area of the base the same and tripled the volume, what would the height be? Well, if the area of the base is the same, I'm going to go ahead and erase this now so I have some room. We've had this problem before. First of all, the main thing it says height, so we're just going to label that as centimeters. If the base is 6 and the volume tripled, your height must triple. So if my height is originally 4, 4 times 3 would equal 12. So my new height would be 12 centimeters. Next problem. What information do you need to figure out how many square centimeters of paint you would use if you painted the entire cylinder? I told you guys you had to find the surface area. First off, how many faces do we have? We have 1, we got 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2 of the faces are the same. So the top face would be here, which is from the area of a circle. So that's radius squared times 3.14, which means 4 squared times 3.14, which means 16 times 3.14, which equals 3.14 times 16. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. 6 times 3 is 18. Place value holder. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. Add these up. 4, 12, 10, 5. Place value. Or decimal, move the decimal over. 50 and 24 hundredths. It's a lot of work there. I just kind of worked everything out. If the top is 50 and 24 hundredths, the bottom is 50 and 24 hundredths. Now, this shape that wraps around a cylinder is a rectangle. If the height is 21, this has to be 21. Now, to find this length right here, you have to find the circumference because that's what is wrapped around. So that is D, which is diameter. So 4 is the radius, 8 is my diameter, times 3.14. Go ahead and work this out here on the side. 4 times 8 is 32. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1, 25. The decimal, 25 and 12 hundredths is the length. Now to multiply it by the height. One times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. Place value holder. 2 times 2 is 4. 2, 10, 4, 5. Add them up. 2, 5, 7, 2, 5. Decimal. 527 and 52 is my area. I'm going to erase, make some more space here. Now I got to add up. It's quite a process. If you need to watch this video a couple times to help you out, please do. 50.24 plus 50.24, 8, 4, 0, 10. Move the decimal down. Now I have to take that number, 148 hundredths, and I have to add that to 527.52. Add them up. 10, 8, move the decimal down. 2, 6. Your answer is 628 centimeters squared because we're dealing with area. Help you out. You're going to see a problem just like this tomorrow. When finding the surface area of a cylinder, you have to use radius squared times 3.14. You're going to have to use that twice. And you're going to have to use D times 3.14. Then you're going to have to multiply that by the height. You're only going to have to do this one time. That's how you find the three faces. Please watch this several times so you understand it, so tomorrow's nice and easy. If you place a cone inside the cylinder shown below such that the point of the cone touches the bottom of the cylinder and the base of the cone fits exactly at the top of the cylinder, what would the volume of the new cone be? Pretty much it means if I put a cone in here, what's my volume? We'll have to find the area of the base, which could also be the top of the shape. Radius squared times 3.14. 4 is my radius. 4 squared times 3.14, which is 16 times 3.14. I believe I had already solved this. 16 times 3.14. Have I already solved this so I don't have to do it again? Oh, well, I just get to do it all over again. I'm so excited. 3.14 times 16. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 1 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. 6 plus 3 is 18. Place value holder. Get rid of this 2. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. Add them up. Move this over. We got 4, 12, 10, 5, decimal, decimal. Area of the base is 50 and 24 hundredths. That's my area of the base. Now I have to take that number and I must multiply it by the height, because base times height. So I have 50 and 24 hundredths times 6. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 2 is 14. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 6 times 5 is 30. Move the decimal, move the decimal. We have 301 and 44 hundredths. Now, this isn't a cylinder we're finding a cone. Whenever you find a cone, remember you must divide by 3. So I'm going to take 301 and 44 hundredths and divide it by 3 to find my volume of this cone. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 times 1 is 3. Subtract 0, bring down the 0. How many times can 3 go into 0? 0 times. 3 times 0 is 0. Subtract 0, bring down the 1. How many times can 3 go into 1? 0 times. 3 times 0 is 0. Subtract, got a 1. I'm running on space here. So complicated. Got a 1. Got to bring down the 4. How many times can 3 go into 4? 14, my bad. 3 goes into 14 4 times. 3 times 4 is 12. Subtract, got a 2. Bring down the 4. How many times can 3 go into 24? Exactly 8 times. 3 times 8 is 24. I am done. Move the decimal up. So my answer is 148 hundredths. Finding volume. So I'm working with centimeters cubed. That's how you find the volume of a cone. The area of the base of the pyramid. Excellent. They already have it for us. 132. The height is 14. What is the volume of the pyramid? Well, we're finding the volume of the pyramid. We're dividing by 3. First of all, we have to find out what the volume of the shape is as if it was a cube. So I have to multiply my base times my height. 132 times 14. There's a lot of multiplication on this test, kids. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Get rid of this 2. Place value holder. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. Add them up. This box keeps getting in my way. 8 times 0 is 8. 2, my bad. 8 plus 0 is 8. 2 plus 2 is 4. 5 plus 3 is 8. 1. There's no decimals I need to move. So my volume of this shape, if it was a cube, would be 1,848. But it's not a cube, it's a pyramid, so I have to divide it by 3. How many times can 3 go into 1? 0 times. 3 goes into 0, 3 goes into 1, 0 times, 3 times 0 is 0. Subtract, bring down the 8. How many times can 3 go into 18? 6 times. 3 times 6 is 18. Bring down the 4. How many times can 3 go into 4? Once. 3 times 1 is 3. Subtract, bring down the 8. How many times can 3 go into 18? 6 times. 3 times 6 is 18. 0. So my answer, 616. Volume is what we're working with. And we're working with meters cubed. This next problem. Melinda wants to add medicine to her aquarium shown below. The instructions suggest adding 1 drop of medicine for every 2 liters of water. 1 drop equals 2 liters. The base of the aquarium measures 20 centimeters by 25 centimeters. The aquarium is filled with water to a height of about 40 centimeters. So I have to find out how many drops of medicine should Melinda add to her aquarium. This is important. 1 liter equals 1,000 cubic centimeters, which is the same as 1,000 milliliters. Let's find out what the volume is. Well, if this is 20, then this is 20, then this is 20. If this is 25, that's 25. So the area of the base is 20 times 25. 0 times 5, 0. 0 times 2 is 0. Place value, 2 times 5 is 10. 5. Add these up. Got 500. 500 is my base. My height is 40 times 40. I could do this mentally, but I'm just going to work it out. 0 times 0, 0 times 0, 0 times 5. Place value holder, 4 times 0, 4 times 0, 4 times 5 is 20. Add these up. We have 20,000 centimeters cubed. The question's not asking what the volume is. The question's asking how many drops we need to put in. It's not asking how many liters. It's asking how many drops. Well, 1 liter equals 1,000. If I have 20,000, that would be, I'll change my colors, that would be 20 liters. Because 20 times 1,000 would be 20,000. 1 drop equals 2 liters. So I have to take these 20 liters and divide it by 2. 20 divided by 2 equals 10. That's how many drops we have. Don't want to add too many drops to the fish tank or the aquarium, so all the fish will die. Treasure hunt. The intrepid explorer, Cinderella, went to the Amazon basin in search of the lost treasure of the Guarani Indians. Traps had been set to guard the treasure. Cindy fell through the trap door into a 10-foot-high rectangular room that measured 5 feet wide by 8 feet long. Suddenly, the room began to fill with water, but stopped when it was 4 feet deep. Cindy sighed with relief, but her relief didn't last long. The 2 8-foot-long walls of the room began to move, making the room smaller and causing the water level to rise. Every 15 minutes, the walls were 1 foot closer. You're going to see a problem almost identical to this tomorrow on the test. It's a very easy problem. And give you 2 extra points. The first thing I would do is look at the dimensions. 10 foot high. So I'd label this 10. The next thing, 8 feet long, or 5 feet wide. I'd make it 5 feet wide, 8 feet long. That's the first thing I would do. The next thing I would do, the water was 4 feet deep. I'd make a little water here. I put a 4 there. That's how deep the water was. So last thing I would do, yeah. The last thing I would do is every 15 minutes, the walls were 1 foot closer. So I'm going to be counting by 15s. So over here to the side, I'm going to be writing 15. What's after 15? 30. After that, 45. After that, I've got 60 minutes. After that, I have 1 hour and 15 minutes. After that, I have 1 hour and 30. After that, I have 1 hour and 45. I'm going to stop there. I might have to go to 2 hours, but hopefully Cindy gets out of this cage before that happens. She might not last. All right. I'm taking a look at this shape here. In 15 minutes, this wall is going to go to 7 feet. Which means the water is going to go up to 5 feet. So we're at 7 feet. Oops. We're at 7 feet for the wall. 5 feet for the water. The next thing, 15 minutes later, this 7 feet turns into 6 feet. Go ahead and write it over here. The 6 feet, the water then would turn from 5 feet to, it's going to go up to 6 feet. After that, what's going to happen? The walls are going to shrink again after 15 minutes. Turn this to 5 feet, which means the water is going to go to 7 feet. Thank you. This is going to be 5 feet. You can kind of see the trend. So at 60 minutes, it's going to go to 4 feet. This is going to go to 3 feet. This is going to go to 2 feet. We need to stop once the blue gets to 10 feet. So it's going to rise to 8 feet, 9 feet, 10 feet. That's where the water rises to. So the question states, figure out how much time will pass before the water lifts Cindy to the trapdoor exit in the ceiling of the room. At 10 feet, 1 hour and 30 minutes. That's how you show your work. You need to make a table of how the room's shrinking right here and how the water level's going up. If you do that, it's going to be nice and easy. All right, hopefully this helped you with your